So Ellen, just to chat, Ellen's apparently trying to make a hell no, I'm out. Bro, yeah, Ellen's like, I just wanted to watch this video because like, apparently Ellen is trying to win everyone's approval back, but I don't think it's going that well. Let's just watch the video and see what.
Make a comeback with her new stand-up special, although its reviews have mostly been terrible. She spends most of the special responding to her being kicked out of showbiz, which began when someone posted just one single tweet. Right now, we all need a little kind.
Bro, who other than like 40-year-old moms ever watched Ellen DeGeneres? 40-year-old moms are like the only people who ever watched this fucking girl.
You know, like Ellen DeGeneres always talks about. She's also notoriously one of the meanest people alive. Respond to this with the most insane story.
She kind of just looks fucked up. She kind of just looks mean.
You've heard about Ellen being mean. The tweet posted in March 2020 received bad enough replies to begin Ellen's downfall. I worked at Real Food Daily, served her and Portia a brunch. She wrote a letter to the owner and complained about my chipped nail polish, not that it was on her plate, but just that it was on my hand. I worked till closing the night before, and this was the next morn. Almost got me fired. The nail polish.
Damn, so she almost got this girl fired over what? Worked till complained about a chipped nail polish that was on her plate, but that it was on my hand. Yeah,
Polish story was so unbelievable, the person who wrote it went on Inside Edition.
This former waitress claims she was threatened with a 2-week suspension after Ellen DeGeneres complained about, of all things, her chipped fingernail polish.
I remember just being like, really?
But the story shared back
yeah, that's like insane ego. Like, come on.
Twitter were only getting worse. I once worked at Warner Brothers. One day I was in the elevator and Ellen and her entourage came in. Naturally, I held it for her and asked her what floor she was getting on. Her assistant answered 3rd floor. 30 minutes later, I got a call from my boss saying I was fired because I was harassing her.
Whoa. What? I worked at Warner Brothers. One day I was in the elevator and Ellen and her entourage in Nat came in. Naturally, I held it for her, asked her what floor she was getting on, and her assistant answered 3rd floor.
Later, I got a call from my boss saying I was fired because I was harassing her.
What? How does that make any sense? How? How does that make any sense, bro? This guy got fired for holding the door open and asking where they were going? What the fuck?
An old friend worked on her a lot and smiled and said good afternoon to her one day and she became unhinged. Who do you think you are? You don't look at me, yada yada. She said Portia was with her and seemed embarrassed and tried to calm her down. Has forever changed my opinion of her.
That's just like being a straight up terrible human being. Why would you go out of your own way like that to say some shit like that, some negative ass shit? Just because somebody doesn't have as much followers as you doesn't mean they're not like they're meant to be dragged into the mud. Like, bro, just because you have followers doesn't mean that you have this ultimate advantage over everybody. Like, we're all normal people at the end of the day.
The responses went on and on and on, all of which being compared to Ellen's classic catchphrase.
I always end each show by saying be kind to one another.
Audience member Dana DiMatteo.
Yeah, that aged well.
And went public with her degrading experience on the show.
They tell you, you can't be smarter, funnier than Ellen. She's the comedian and the star.
Yeah. Wow. Okay, that's just insanely egotistical.
Not you.
Don't be funnier than Ellen. That's gonna be hard considering.
Yeah, that's gonna be really hard.
Funny to begin with.
She never was, bro.
Your whole life, and you're
laughing at her jokes is probably like the hardest thing ever. I'd probably make an hour-long video just trying to laugh at one joke from her.
You're afraid a random audience member will upstage you, maybe you're just not funny. Dana then revealed that Ellen's completely different when the cameras turn off.
How does the Ellen we see on TV compare to the Ellen you saw when the cameras stopped rolling?
Totally different. She would only speak to the audience when the cameras were rolling. As soon as they turned the cameras off, she would not even acknowledge the audience. She would just sit on the couch, basically.
Which was supported by Hedda Muscat, one of
Really?
the show's former producers.
What a fucking egotistical brat.
Toxic, phony, hypocrite, liar. That's what she is.
She agreed that things were different when the cameras were.
And she also looks like a pig. Like what? She literally looks like a pig. She doesn't even have. She's not even hot either. She's not funny, hot. What does she even do? She just sits around. What? Are the audience paid actors too? Robots, AIs? Like what? Why are the audience even there? What? Who would support this thing? Who would support this?
Weren't rolling.
Other than
We
a
were told
40-year-old
from the very
mom.
beginning, don't talk to Ellen, don't do this, you can't, go into her office. It was very nerve-wracking, very stressful. We all walked on eggshells all the time.
And after the show's DJ also said the same, BuzzFeed launched their own investigation, interviewing a further 11 former employees. They were fired after taking medical leave or bereavement days to attend family funerals.
Whoa, what? Dude, that's worse than the slave chamber. That's actually worse than the Amazon slave chamber, which is where I work. People say the slave chamber's bad. You get fired for attending family funerals? You fucking serious, dude?
Employee who claimed she was fed up with comments about her race essentially walked off the job. Others said they were also instructed by their direct managers to not speak to DeGeneres if they saw her around the office. After the accusations went viral, Ellen issued a statement within
fuck off. Like
the
what?
company. Hey everybody, it's Ellen. On day one of our show, I told everyone in our first meeting that the Ellen DeGeneres show would be a place of happiness. No one would ever raise their voice.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
And everyone would be treated with respect. Obviously,
Bullshit.
something changed, and I'm disappointed to learn that this has not been the case. And for that, I'm sorry. Anyone who knows me knows it's the opposite of what I believed and what I hoped for our show. Yet,
I mean, you're just an asshole that's an egotistical brat.
Former producer certainly didn't buy it.
So when Ellen says she's not aware of this,
Yeah, she's aware of all of it.
You don't think
she's
that rings
aware
true?
of. She's aware of all of
Ellen
it.
then took a 2-month break and began a brand new season by addressing the public.
As you may have heard, this summer there were allegations of a toxic work environment at our show. I learned that things happened here that never should have happened. I take that very seriously, and I want to say I am so sorry to the people who were affected. We have
You're just an egotistical fucking bitch. That's what you are.
made the necessary changes, and today we are starting a new chapter.
She'd then make the promise,
And I am committed to making this the best season that we have ever had.
although the ratings said the opposite, because only 6 months later the New York Times published Ellen DeGeneres loses 1 million viewers after apologies for toxic workplace. It explained that
I mean, when you say sorry like that, and also when people find out you're just kind of an asshole, like nobody wants to watch you anymore.
Ellen had been,
And you also look like a fucking, you look like that.
averaging 1.5 million viewers over the last 6 months, down from 2.6 million in the same period last year. The show's loss of more than 1 million viewers translates to a 43% decline, representing a steeper drop than any of its competitors. As a result, Ellen made the announcement,
I am announcing that next season, season 19, is going to be my last season.
adding in the
That's
Hollywood
great.
Reporter, as great as
That should be celebrated on the streets.
the show is, and as fun as it is, it's just not a challenge anymore. I need something new to challenge me, with her being exposed also clearly having an impact. She'd state the expose destroyed me, honestly. I'd be lying if I said it didn't. And it makes me really sad that there's so much joy out there from negativity. It's a culture now where there are just mean people, and it's so foreign to me that people get joy out.
You're just an egotistical brat. That's like the only thing. They don't get joy out of it. You just are an asshole. Like, she's just a straight up asshole. So like, I don't know. It's just like none of this makes sense. Like, you literally were the one spreading that negativity.
Out of
Not anybody else.
these
They
mean
just were saying that you were spreading that negativity.
people responded stating, "Even without the controversy, the show hasn't been fun and genuine for years. It may have never been, but at least it seemed like it. But Ellen is tired of it all, and she's lousy at hiding it now. No more dancing by her, no monologue half the time, bad jokes that are dragged out way too long, tons of old show clips, tons of self-promotion."
I mean, laughing at an Ellen joke is probably the hardest. Laughing at an Ellen joke is probably the hardest thing that somebody could do.
Comments led to an average final season, which Ellen concluded by crying with her audience. She then mentioned the possibility of returning to acting, but instead made a documentary titled Saving the Gorillas: Ellen's Next Adventure. It released in 2023, but with only
that's not good.
100 reviews on IMDb, and this likely being the first time you've heard of it, it's safe to say it performed pretty poorly. Ellen rather went back to living a quiet life until April 2024, when she'd make a new announcement. "You may have heard that I'm doing stand-up again. If you wanna come see me, I'll be sharing
I mean, cocaine isn't cheap. You gotta get money somehow.
some news tomorrow at noon." As suggested, she'd announce a stand-up tour to be recorded and posted by Netflix, also adding, "Yes, I'm going to talk about it."
Why does Netflix just give their platform up to anybody? Does Netflix just give their platform to anyone? Bro, there's no way they thought this was gonna make money. There's no way.
Referring to her being cancelled. Titled "For Your Approval," the special begins with Ellen walking up a flight of stairs, each referencing a headline that ruined her reputation. She acknowledges the tweet that started her downfall, as well as the employees who spoke out against her, then begins the actual show with a joke about her fall from grace.
You know, I used to say that I didn't care what other people thought of me, and I realize now, looking back, I said that at the height of my popularity. I'm here because I love doing stand-up, I miss doing stand-up, and I like making people happy, and I do care what people think.
Now, this is a pretty respectable angle, as it feels extremely honest. Yet it also seems like a sneaky request for pity, which...
Yeah, she did. It seemed like... That seems like... Yeah, that seems like fucking a pity request right there. Because, like... I don't know. I mean, I try not to care what people think about me, but... You know, you gotta get viewers somehow.
As a high-profile celebrity, you'll simply never get. She then talks about what...
Wait, she has 73 million followers? Are you dead ass? Hold on, let me look this up. How does she have this? Wait, look at this. How did she have this many? How did she have that many followers? How? Where did they come from?
Up to,
All right, well, let me catch up on what's been going on with me since you saw me last. Oh, yeah, I got kicked out of show business.
Then makes some pretty funny jokes about her new reputation.
Everybody heard that I was mean. Everywhere I go, I know everyone's heard that I'm mean. I know when I walk into a restaurant, people are watching, waiting to see if I'll be mean.
Yeah, because your ego back then was so high because you had all those viewers. Now your ego's probably in the fucking gutter.
Oh, look, she's reaching for butter. I thought she was gonna hit somebody.
On the contrary, there are some pretty out-of-touch segments. For example, her joking about her car feature.
Bro, this guy, he watched the whole Netflix thing. This guy's got to have serious brain damage.
Which you'd clearly only find in a luxury vehicle.
Then there's that one, that button that inflates the back of the seat. You know, the one that makes you feel like you're getting spooned by a pregnant woman.
She also makes this out-of-touch joke.
We're all interested in different things. We're all good at different things. I was talking to someone the other day, and they said, "Ellen, I don't know how you get on stage in front of people. I could never do that." And I said, "Well, I don't know how you dry clean clothes."
But as an overall...
What? I dry clean clothes. That's fucking easy.
Overall, the special isn't terrible. Its audience rating of 5.4 stars feels fairly accurate, although as you might expect, simply because it's Ellen, the articles written about it have been pretty brutal. Ellen DeGeneres' unfunny Netflix special leaves so much unsaid. Ellen DeGeneres lets herself off the hook in self-indulgent Netflix special.
Damn.
Ellen DeGeneres is unapologetic, unrelatable, and totally insufferable in her new Netflix special.
Insufferable?
With for your
Damn.
approval, aside from the
Holy shit, I wasn't even going that hard. I mean, she kind of is insufferable. I don't know why anybody would want to watch that, but...
fact that it's almost never funny.
How she has 137 million followers is never going to make sense to me. How is that possible?
Is that it feels so disingenuous, so calculated to rehabilitate an image and preserve that triumph for prosperity. Another article stated it's one of the weirdest stand-up shows in recent memory. Half observational punchlines, half closing argument in a trial, featuring DeGeneres as her own defense attorney. Neither half works on its own. Taken as a whole, it's an exhausting mess. That also adds self-awareness.
If I watched however many hours of that special of Ellen DeGeneres, bro, comedy special, I don't know how people watch that stuff. I could never watch that. I could never watch a comedy special. I just couldn't do it ever.
Awareness is different from taking responsibility. DeGeneres offers no apologies or even explanations for her behavior, yet in other more favorable reviews, unapologetic was used as a positive. I like the fact that she's rather unapologetic. It's highly refreshing and honest. This extreme divide can be seen by the audience reviews on Google.
Wow, okay, so most people rate it 5-star, most people rate it 1. So it couldn't have been that bad.
Almost an equal amount of 1 and 5-star ratings. A sad representation of the black and white thinking that plagues the internet so heavily today.
Yeah, I mean, what do you guys think? Do you guys think Ellen's comeback was pretty good? What do you guys think?